All right, what is up, Utah fans? This is Joseph back with the Utah Utes Football Digest. And great news, last night Utah was able to snag a player off the little brother from the team down south's roster, and John Henry Daley. John Henry Daley was playing for BYU, and now he's coming up here to play for Utah. Huge upgrade for him. Looks like a great addition to the roster. He's a local kid, that his senior year in 2020. Obviously, since then he has went on his mission. Just got back to play football this past year, so he has 1 year of football. The good thing is he only played in 3 games last year, from what I can see, which means that should mean that he gets a red shirt, and that we should have 4 full years of eligibility from this guy. And like I said, guys, a Lone Peak product that had 22 sacks his senior year. That's pretty ridiculous. I'm excited to talk about him, guys. We'll break him down. We'll talk about what he brings to the table. Before we do, though, please make sure you guys smash that like button. That'll help get the video out to more Utah fans. Also, comment down below. What do you guys think of John Henry Daley? Do you think he'll make an immediate impact? Do you think he'll be a rotational guy early on? I'd love to hear what you guys think. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We put out a ton of Utah Utes football content, and we want to make sure we grow this community as much as we possibly can. We're right around the corner from 2,000 subscribers. By the time I post this video, we might have already hit it. So that's awesome if you guys are a part of it. I love seeing you guys a part of the channel. And please make sure you share the video with a friend. That could be retweeting it on Twitter, posting on Facebook, whatever. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. Let's break down John Henry Daley, the newest Utah commit from BYU. Let's break him down. All right, guys. So here he is, John Henry Daley, 6'5", 225 pounds. Like I said, he only played in 3 games last season. And the good thing for us on that front is that should mean that we can redshirt. That counts as a red shirt, and he should have 4 years of eligibility left. So that's very exciting. Check out the grades here, though. I want to actually point out one thing before we break down the grades. Now, this guy had 22 sacks his senior year, right? And they have him playing outside linebacker, which could be like a stand-up edge rusher type position, which Utah does a true like 4-3, 4 down lineman type of deal, which is a little different. And I'm going to go ahead and take a guess at that being one of the reasons he's transferring. Now, he only got 32 snaps last year and didn't do terribly, a 59.9 grade. It's not great, but it's not bad either. And he actually had a decent game against TCU. 18 snaps here, 68.3 grade. That's pretty solid, and he got a pressure in those snaps. But it seems like he might be just a little out of position where he's 6'5", 225 pounds. So a little small on the smaller end to be playing a 4-3 defensive end, but you got to imagine this year with that type of build, he has the frame to pack on a lot of weight. So probably heading into next year, we'll see him gain quite a bit of size and start to look like a true 4-3 defensive lineman. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if this is a guy that can start to rotate in. I mean, I think he's going to have to earn his spot. We got to see what happens with this D line. Is Jonah Ellis coming back? Because then you got Van Fillinger, you got Connor O'Toole, Jonah Ellis, what's his name? Logan Fano. I mean, just a monster defensive end room. And this is a great addition to the defensive end room. If Jonah Ellis does declare, I could definitely see this guy rotating in. The grades aren't bad, nothing crazy. He had 32 total snaps, like we said, and then 3 tackles. So there's not much you can take from the sample size. He also had a couple years away from football on the mission. I'm sure he was still training, but the grades aren't bad. They're not good either. But he's a guy that you could see coming into Utah and doing a good job pretty early. It's not like I really think the number one reason this guy's coming here is because he was out of position. They have him like they actually PFF has different categories for like edge rusher, defensive interior, linebacker, stuff like that. So the fact that this kid is playing right outside linebacker, you got to imagine that he was a little out of position. They have him labeled as an edge, but as a 4-3 defensive end, he could hit more of his pure position that he's meant to be playing. So this is kind of where I'm at with John Henry Daley. One really cool thing is his brother, I believe his name is Michael Daly, is also a guy that's in the transfer portal from BYU. Would not be shocked at all to see him follow his brother over to Utah. That'd be super cool. But either way, this video is about John Henry Daley. I actually think this looks like a very good prospect. I mean, you look at a guy that only had 32 snaps. I mean, that doesn't tell you really anything. 32 snaps, that grade could be a little higher or a little lower than what his true grade is. What I do think, though, is we got a guy playing a little bit out of position and a guy that's going to come over to Utah, be a true, hand in the dirt 4-3 defensive end, and hopefully thrive in that position, right? And hopefully that's where he needs to be. 22 sacks, guys, as a senior in 2020. That means that this guy wants to rush the passer. He wants to get back there and cause havoc. And when that's not the mindset, that can be a weird switch to turn on and off. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'd say where I think his contribution is this very coming year is going to be a guy that can start to steal rotational reps and be a good depth edge rusher. I'd be a little surprised if he's immediately getting a ton of reps, but who knows? I mean, this guy could come into camp and really show that he was really just out of position. I also think he needs to pack on a little bit of weight to be a defensive end, right? But he's got the frame. I mean, he'd only need maybe a good 15, 20 pounds, and he has 9 months to do that, right? And these numbers they pulled of his weight and stuff are probably early in the year, right? They're probably from early early in the process. Let me look real quick. I think he has a different number listed in his profile on Twitter. Let me look. He actually has himself listed at 6'4", 245. Um, so who knows? He's probably let's imagine he's like 6'5", 235, right? So that not a ton of weight left to pack on, right? A guy that we could really see come in here and do some damage. But I would say worst case, a rotational guy and a good depth piece. We don't know what's going to happen with Jonah Ellis yet. That hasn't been firmed out. So hopefully he can come in, be a solid role player, solid depth, earn some rotational time. I think that's kind of where the ceiling is. This is a nasty edge rusher room, a defensive end for Utah. So, but like being a rotational player in the Utah defensive end room is no joke. Like you being in the rotation basically means you're a starter at Utah. Like these guys all get a lot of reps. It's part of that new age of defensive football. I'm a Jets fan, and that's kind of how the Jets play, where it's like rotate, rotate, rotate. Like just get as many fresh, good edge rushers in there as humanly possible, and make sure you have good, like refreshed players. Like imagine you're an offensive tackle, and not only are you going up against a guy that's playing 50% less snaps than you all day, but he's also like a different style. Like you're going against different styles all day. So that new era of edge rusher, like rotating in and out, makes a lot of sense. And I could see this guy getting some reps. I definitely like 50 to 100 reps next year is very realistic, if not a lot more, if he can earn a spot. So I'm excited about him, guys. I think he's a good player. Might be a year of development, but I think there's a reason he's transferring to Utah, right? He's not a joke. He was a big time player at a high school, and he was playing Power 5 college football at the team down south, and now he's coming over to Utah. So I'm excited for Utah to get him. I want to know what you guys think too, though. Comment down below. What do you guys think of John Henry Daley? How big of an impact will he have right away? How big of an impact will he have long term? Also, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. We put out a ton of Utah Utes football content, and we want you guys to be a part of the community. And if you could, share the video with a friend, retweet it, post it on Facebook, direct message it to one of your good pals or whatever. All right, but I'm out of here, guys, and go Utes.